Here comes the money. Here we go. Here comes the money. Money, 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 money. Shane McMahon's entrance theme was probably on the lips of every WWE shareholder in the past several weeks as the share prices skyrocketed in response to a new record TV deal worth a reported $1 billion for WWE programming across NBC Universal's USA Network and Fox Sports. The new deal, which has been reported to make television more lucrative than live attendances for the first time in the history of the company, is likely to see even more focus placed on the week-to-week television shows the WWE produce, and is the most lucrative television deal ever for a wrestling show. So this got me to thinking, what could WWE do with all that dough? I'm Adam Pacitti from Cultaholic.com, and these are the 10 things WWE could bring back with their $1 billion TV deal. Join us! Number 10, Talking Smack. There have been several key figures inside Fox who have suggested that the network may look to present WWE SmackDown Live in the same manner that they currently present other sports, exempt from the usual coverage of Major League sports like the NFL. As such, many fans are calling for a return of the much-loved talk show Talking Smack. SmackDown Live's post-show broadcast hosted by Renee Young, and so are we. With the likelihood of SmackDown Live being moved to a different night on Fox, tapings for 205 Live may have to be attached to Raw or NXT to fit into their Tuesday night broadcasting spot on the WWE network, and as such there'll be more space for Talking Smack to be filmed after SmackDown. Fox will likely be satisfied by the show's more unscripted and honest approach to wrestling, while WWE could remain in control of the content being put out in conjunction with their product, ensuring that their week-to-week stories are exempt from being lambasted by sports commentators and are instead analysed and discussed by their own employees. For fans, it'll offer more of the true character development and controversial comments that the show became famous for, and it'll be another chance to see Renee Young hosting a wrestling show, and we all love Renee, don't we? Number 9, Rockstar entrance themes. Remember when new metal band Saliva were blasting out Chris Jericho's theme and Motorhead were hired to perform Triple H's theme? Nowadays, wrestlers usually enter to looped compositions, and such moments as Limp Bizkit playing The Undertaker to the ring at WrestleMania 19 are mostly reserved for NXT shows. In fact, WrestleMania remains the only major WWE event that features any sort of musical accompaniment. Surely, with $1 billion in the bank, this can change? Not everyone's a fan of musical acts in wrestling, and who can blame the naysayers when we've been flooded by unwelcomed Flow Rider and Kid Rock performances every WrestleMania for the past decade or so, but within WWE's own brand of NXT, they have proven how welcome such involvements can be, with Code Orange being received well for their rendition of Aleister Black's theme in the past, and their song working to enhance the character in of itself. We all enjoy looped riffs, and the music in WWE certainly isn't in need of a revolution right now, but including world-renowned artists that cross into mainstream culture and any number of subcultures will only help grow the brand, enhance the characters, and create a big fight feel at any of the events they perform at. Number 8, wrestling albums. I know, people don't buy music anymore, but does that mean we shouldn't be treated to another wrestling album? You know, the sort where famous artists and wrestlers alike come together to release their own versions of their theme songs and/or write and perform their own attempts at an original hip-hop track. Admittedly, much of this idea comes from the team-ups between the likes of The Rock and Wyclef Jean in the past. Just remember, kids, it doesn't matter! But the WWE actually released a number of albums in the late 90s that brought outside artists like Snoop Dogg into the company to record something exclusively for their wrestling album. Just imagine Elias breaking out a broody anthem, Jericho teaming with a metal powerhouse of a singer to gift us another Judas, or Aiden English singing It's Rusev Day in a track remixed by Kendrick Lamar? Take all of my money. Number 7, Brock Lesnar TV matches. We know that this is bound to rub people the wrong way, especially seeing as Lesnar is about to follow his true passion by returning to the UFC, but beyond the octagon, Lesnar remains a huge draw who brings something unique and interesting to every show he's involved with, so why not have him around more often? We've all seen how the audiences at TV tapings have declined over recent years in the absence of regular appearances from top stars like John Cena, so why not try to bring some of them back by having Lesnar appear and sometimes wrestle on Raw or SmackDown every now and then. You could even keep his appearances as a surprise more often than they currently are, creating a greater intrigue around his character and making the weekly TV shows more of a cannot-miss spectacle for the local crowds. If it's done in the right way, it won't ruin the spectacle of seeing the Beast incarnate in action either, and may offer opportunities to lift so-called lesser wrestlers to his level. Imagine an angry Brock turning up at Raw the night after a pay-per-view loss, only to be confronted by Chad Gable. 5 minutes later, Lesnar is the winner, but Gable nearly had him him on a roll-up and even hit his finish. Both guys over, Lesnar gets paid, the audience is happy, and all is good in the world. This is surely a must for WWE, if Lesnar sticks around. Number 6, full-time returns for major stars of the past. Speaking of getting great characters on TV more often, for years fans have called for greater and more long-term returns for the likes of The Rock, Stone Cold Steve Austin, Goldberg, Sting, Triple H, The Undertaker, and Shawn Michaels, and this $1 billion deal could be the answer. We've all seen how The Undertaker, Triple H, and John Cena can be bought out in the past, as proven by the greatest Royal Rumble, and with the weekly budgets of TV episodes likely to increase, a series of major returns to TV, not just network specials, could be on the cards. Wrestlers like Batista, now a major Hollywood star, seem to be the most likely to be drawn back, as pay seems likely to be the only obstacle in bringing in now Marvel powerhouse back to the squared circle. But any slim chance of returns for Steve Austin and The Rock could also be boosted by the possibility of higher pay packets. Who's going to turn down millions of dollars for one last run? Not many people. Number 5, Hollywood quality writers and directors. We all know that WWE could do with a bit of a rehaul regarding the way in which they tell stories, and with the current climate of wrestling shifting towards a more athletic and often more stiff style of wrestling likened to Japanese strong style and real combat sports like the UFC, and the popularity of televised storytelling evolving from weekly serials to more intricately designed and often more intelligent character studies like Breaking Bad, the new television deal could open a lot of opportunities for the WWE to hire professionals who can bring ideas from both camps into the production side of the show, hopefully with astronomically positive effects. Introducing different showrunners for Raw and SmackDown could be one way of distinguishing the two brands from one another in terms of structure, stories, and visual presentation, and the hiring of new writers could really boost the stale nature of many a current-day promo. In the late 90s, WWE was fresh and innovative, and though many of those voices remain in the company to this day, many of their ideas have become stale. Some fresh eyes straight out of high-end TV drama or the action movie sphere could really spice up WWE programming moving forward and would be a certifiable way of ensuring the company's extra money was well spent. Number 4, international TV tapings. Another aspect of WWE weekly episodic television shows that seems to have been missing in recent years are international tapings. Aside from Canada and the twice a year the UK tapings, the WWE rarely broadcast their weekly shows from outside their homeland of the United States anymore, despite previously broadcasting from the likes of Milan and now having German, French, and even Mandarin commentators present at each of their network specials. At the moment, this is likely due to the increased cost of hosting television in the biggest markets of Europe and Asia due to travel and the need to take entire sets across the world. But this is nothing a little money can't fix, and it would offer a huge boost to the company's international appeal, not to mention the uniqueness of any given Raw or SmackDown show. Number 3, pyro! If there's one thing we've all called for since hearing the amount of money the WWE will earn from their new TV deal, it's pyro. A victim of the mid-2017 budget cuts, pyrotechnics are somewhat of a forgotten art in contemporary WWE, when the reality is that it not only adds to the experience and spectacle of the overall show, but it can also add to a character or even help to get a wrestler over. I mean, how cool did Rey Mysterio's entrance pyro used to be? Even Ryback was given a bit of a pop. Can you imagine Goldberg without him breathing smoke like the dragon he believes himself to be? Bring back Lesnar's entrance explosions. Hell, you might as well have pyro rain on Randy Orton again too. Number 2, special pay-per-view sets. Remember when every single pay-per-view was unique, not because of the monthly gimmick turnaround of Money in the Bank, Extreme Rules, and Hell in a Cell, but because of the sets. Remember when the story of a feud was played out in wonderfully creative concoctions that made the entire viewing experience that bit more special, that bit more worth the price of admission? Let's bring that back. The current landscape of WWE TV and pay-per-view sets feels very rigid, with each show so alike the next that they're barely distinguishable from one another. Shows like Royal Rumble 2000 and Armageddon 2000 didn't suffer from this at all, nor did any of the SummerSlams from early this century. With only WrestleMania and sometimes the Royal Rumble being given the special treatment these days, it'd be nice to see those LED screens moved about a bit and a bit of set dressing placed on the stage. They call them WWE Network specials, so making them feel special has to be a high priority in the post-$1 billion TV deal landscape for the WWE. Number 1, backstage action set pieces. What made the Attitude era so memorable was its ruthless pace and the feeling that anything could happen. Perhaps the most vital component in both these factors was the company's over-the-top backstage action set pieces, the likes of which have very much taken a back seat in the WWE as of late, Strowman aside of course. Each Raw or SmackDown felt unique and exciting as the result of such set pieces breaking the tired segment structure of the current day. Their function in the narrative built anticipation for eventual matches where the guilty parties in backstage attacks and/or pranks would finally get their comeuppance. And often, such movie-like concoctions were vital in character development, with Steve Austin's no F's given attitude coming as much from the result of driving a monster truck and dumping cement into Vince McMahon's convertible as his own performances in the ring. Rikishi did it for The Rock, Undertaker kidnapped Stephanie, Triple H married Stephanie in secret, Austin drove a Zamboni to ringside. These were moments that went down in WWE history that the current crop, Strowman aside, don't have the opportunity to be a part of. With such huge and often cheesy moments brought back with the extra TV money, the WWE could find itself as exciting as must-watch as it ever was. And they may even make a star or two in the process. So that's our list. Let us know what you think in the comments below, and you can follow me on Twitter here. If you enjoy what we do here at Cultaholic, you can pledge to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/Cultaholic. And most importantly, don't forget to hit subscribe and join us.